As humans, we tend to think that to make an impact or create something useful, we need to immediately have exceptional ideas or see the complete picture. In reality, innovation often begins with finding a solution to a problem. It could be a simple problem or a personal need. In today's video, I'd like to explore the history of Coca-Cola. Specifically, I'd want to focus on how it started, how Dr. John Steele Pemberton tried to address his personal need or struggle, but in the process created Coca-Cola. Interested? Then continue watching. My name is Judith. Welcome, 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 and I'll be right back. Welcome back. Before we get into the details, it is important that I mention that this video isn't sponsored in any way. I am not saying you should buy or not buy Coca-Cola. I am just trying to tell you how it came to be. Okay? So let's get started. Dr. John Steele Pemberton, the inventor of Coca-Cola, was born on July 8, 1831 in Knoxville, Georgia. He later settled in Columbus, Georgia. He was a licensed pharmacist and chemist who operated his own drugstore. He was very passionate about experimenting with ingredients to create medicinal products. In fact, he was known among locals as someone who created and sold medicines and remedies to various health issues. He was also a Confederate Army veteran who served as a lieutenant colonel in the 12th Cavalry Regiment of the Georgia State Guard during the American Civil War that started in 1861. Now, some sources say it wasn't the 12th Cavalry Regiment, it was the 3rd. Whether 12th or 3rd, I do not know. But one thing we can all agree on is that he enlisted in the army and served during the American Civil War. For Pemberton, it was an opportunity to serve, to contribute to the defense of his region, and to uphold the values and principles that he personally held and supported. In April 1865, during the Battle of Columbus, he suffered a severe saber wound to the chest that left him with chronic pain. To help ease the pain, he started using morphine, but eventually got addicted to it. Knowing the dangers of addiction, he started looking for morphine-free alternatives. And guess what he did? He went back to what he knew how to do best, experimenting with ingredients. During one of his experiments, he set out to create a tonic that he felt could serve as a nerve stimulant as well as an energizing beverage. So he combined extracts from the coca leaf and cola nuts to create a syrup. He believed that the coca leaf offered stimulating properties as it contains small amounts of cocaine. He also believed that the cola nut offered a pleasant flavor as well as additional stimulating properties as it contains caffeine. At that time, there was interest in using coca as a potential treatment for opium addiction. Dr. William Halsted, a prominent American surgeon, was said to have experimented with the use of cocaine derived from coca leaves to help wean patients off opium. Now, whether Pemberton was directly influenced by Dr. Halsted's work or not, again, we do not know. The formulation that Pemberton created contained two key ingredients: extracts from the coca leaf and cola nut. He added French wine to the mix to serve as a flavoring agent as well as a preservative. Guess what he created? The formulation he created. He called that formulation Pemberton's French wine coca. So he continued to refine and to promote this formulation he had created that it became so popular in his pharmacy and among locals who sought it for the perceived health benefits. Pemberton claimed it could cure headaches, morphine addiction, indigestion, nervousness, impotence, and other health issues. In 1886, Pemberton had to remove the wine component from his recipe, thereby creating a non-alcoholic version. Reason being that regulations were put in place that prevented the use of alcohol in medicinal products. Surprisingly, this non-alcoholic syrup was quite popular among locals, but Pemberton wanted to expand its reach. Also, he felt that the name Pemberton's French wine Coca was no longer appropriate for it, so he needed a new name. What he did was he reached out to someone called Frank Mason Robinson to help with this. Robinson was a bookkeeper, an advertising, and a marketing specialist. He had this talent for marketing, and that made him a valuable contributor. Long story short, he became Pemberton's partner. Recall that I mentioned that Pemberton wanted to expand the reach of this non-alcoholic version he had created. So he took a sample to a drugstore that was quite popular at that time in downtown Atlanta. That drugstore was called Jacob's Pharmacy. Pemberton felt it was the ideal place for the public debut of his product. According to the Coca-Cola company's official website, that non-alcoholic syrup was sampled and immediately declared excellent. Carbonated water was added to the mix to create this fizzy, delicious, refreshing drink that was sold for the first time on May 8, 1886. It was sold as a soda fountain drink for 5 cents a glass. And that drink, my dear, is what you know now as Coca-Cola. Pemberton and Robinson continued to promote the sale of Coca-Cola at soda fountains and in pharmacies. It was recorded that an average of 9 drinks per day were sold in the first year. Did you know it was Robinson who suggested the name Coca-Cola, with coca coming from the coca leaf and cola coming from cola nut? They felt it had this cool, catchy ring to it and that people could easily remember it. It was also Robinson who created the Spencerian script logo for Coca-Cola. Yes, Coca-Cola's trademark. Pemberton died 2 years after Coca-Cola was introduced to the public. He died of stomach cancer on August 16, 1888. Prior to his death, he started selling rights to his formula as he suffered from morphine addiction, was sick, and needed money. But he had this feeling that one day, this his brand could be known globally. So he kept a share of the ownership to leave to his son, Charlie Pemberton. Recall that I mentioned that he started selling rights to his formula. So Asa Griggs Candler and other businessmen acquired stakes in Pemberton's business. But Candler recognized the potential of this brand as he had great business acumen and was a skilled marketer. So after Pemberton's death, Candler bought out the other shareholders. In fact, he obtained full ownership of the business by acquiring Charlie Pemberton's share of the business. So he got the entire business for a total cash of $2,300. Let me repeat that. He got the entire business for a total cash of $2,300. Charlie Pemberton died in 1894. He died just 6 years after his father's death, and I read that he died of opium addiction, that he struggled with alcoholism and addiction. I also read that his mom, that is Pemberton's wife, lived the remainder of her life in poverty. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but if it is true, this story is not just sad, but heartbreaking, if I'm honest. Coca-Cola, now in the hands of Candler, laid the foundation for its success and its future. Let me break this down. In 1892, Candler incorporated the business as the Coca-Cola Company, and it was capitalized at $100,000. In 1893, he registered the trademark Coca-Cola. He practiced what is called aggressive marketing, as he employed innovative and creative advertising techniques and promotional strategies. He gave coupons for free Coca-Cola just to encourage people to try the drink. He also entered into franchise agreements with independent bottling companies to expand Coca-Cola's production and distribution. But how did that work? So the bottling companies would buy syrup from the Coca-Cola company, then they will make the drink, bottle it, and then distribute the beverage. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, sales rose from about 9,000 gallons of syrup in 1890 to 370,877 gallons of syrup in 1900. That is a 4,021% increase. Let me repeat that again. A 4,021% increase. That wasn't the end. Candler set up syrup making plants in places like Dallas, Los Angeles, and Chicago. Coca-Cola became so popular all over the United States and in Canada. In 1919, the Coca-Cola Company was sold to a group of investors led by Ernest Woodruff. This allowed the company to go public and issue shares for the very first time. In 1923, Woodruff's son, Robert Woodruff, became president and chairman of the company. He expanded this company further and gave the brand its global success, meaning he brought Coca-Cola to the rest of the world. Coca-Cola's growth and expansion have propelled it to become one of the largest corporations in the United States by total revenue, with the brand standing as one of the world's most iconic beverages. Personally, I find the history of Coca-Cola fascinating, remarkable, and tragic. I say tragic because of Pemberton and his family. They did not reap the benefits of Coca-Cola's long-term success to the same extent as the other or the later owners and investors. We've come to the end of this video. If you have questions, comments, or contributions, please put them in the comment section. I've also provided references in case you want to explore or verify things. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. My name is Judith, and bye. Oh no, peace.